Part of the reason why Rurouni Kenshin is so well loved is because it came to Toonami. So
Yep.
so the thing with this is, for those who don't know, Rurouni Kenshin, the author, I want to say this was like 3 years ago, 4 years ago, was arrested briefly for having copious amounts of child pornography in his possession. To the point that the police at one point thought that he was a distributor of child pornography. That's how much child pornography he had. Now, there's some controversy as well as to how he managed to beat the charges and not be in prison for the rest of his life. But long story less long, he's not in jail. I think he got fined pretty heavily, and he's still currently writing more Rurouni Kenshin. And the reason why I brought it up is I wanted to ask you guys, one, how do you feel about that in terms of, do you feel like it will hurt the overall legacy and impact and reach of this reboot? And is there a scenario in which you think an anime, even though it comes from a different cultural background, can beat the charges? Can we separate the art from the artist when it comes to anime and manga?
For me, no. I felt they should have cut ties with him.
Mm-hmm.
Because, like, for example, look at there was an issue with a guy in the company over Skullgirls, where he was causing like a lot of workplace environment issues, like harassment, things of that nature, and they cut him out. They got rid of him, and they continued the Skullgirls product without him, and I feel like that's what continues the integrity. But then of course, with this dude, you know, it's a different story. But then
Mm-hmm.
that's why I do feel like, cut ties with them, yes. Keep the intellectual property, which is the product, but find new writers. We've seen lately, and somebody posted this on Twitter the other day. It was like four different animation styles of the Goku and Vegeta fight, and I was like, you know what? That just proves that yes, somebody else could take the mantle. Even like with this with these these Pokemon shorts. Yes, it still has the spirit of Pokemon, but of course it's an entirely different team doing the animation, the drawing, and aspects of that nature. So like yes, like the dude, he's a creep. He's a creep. Cut ties with him. Cut ties with him because yes, like especially as I say, as it transcends over to the West, that is going to be a major factor.
Mm-hmm.
That is a major. That's going to be a major factor. I was like, oh, he did what? Wait, what?
Mm-hmm.
Nah. Oh, he's
Yep.
still involved with the project? Nah.
Mm-hmm. And as much as some of our politicians' actions would tell you otherwise, most of the West still don't rock with that underage foolishness. But I'm with you, Jory. I know this is obviously Rurouni Kenshin hits closer to home for you than us. So, what do you think? Do you feel like it's is it can you still step in the name of love if the author's R. Kelly?
I mean, it's man, it's hard, man, because that was the manga that I think I got a hold of that manga when I was in the seventh grade,
Mm-hmm.
and that's when I realized that's what I didn't like American comics anymore
Mm.
because everything that the manga did felt like it was moving motion picture.
Mm-hmm.
It was literally moving. The movement, the speed, I can feel everything with still images. It birthed me. Um, when I found out the allegations, I didn't want to believe it. I thought, people were just doing what people do.
Yeah.
Then the official report came out from Viz Media, and
Yeah.
then yeah, man. Yeah. I mean, if they released it, I don't make. I think it will still get. Um, I think people will still watch it. It won't. Not a lot of people will watch it.
Mm.
I think it'll still be people will be like, yo. Some people will be like, well, I like Rurouni Kenshin, and then so I'm gonna still watch it. Some people are gonna be like, now me, I had to see what artistic wise, what some of the decisions they were gonna make as a a studio,
Hmm.
so I can remove myself to a degree, um, to a degree, to just see like just look at the just to see Rurouni Kenshin.
Hmm.
Um, I don't know, man. I still haven't fully made a decision, man, because it's just like this is the book that taught me how to draw
Hmm.
the way it did.
Hmm.
It taught me how to do the speed lines. I didn't have any YouTube tutorials. I didn't have any. I can show you how beat up my book is. I didn't know how to do impact. I didn't know how to do any of that stuff. So, of course, the artist is, it's just the artist. I'm not gonna continue to like the artist is. Just go ahead, Tim, and say,
No, say it with your chest, bro. That's what I was about to
Yeah.
tell you. Say it. Just say it.
Yeah.
Just say it. Just say
yeah,
it.
Oh.
the artist is, just like I don't. I mean, I'm just. It just for me is like I ask more questions. How do you get to that place where that's what you want to?
To
Well, to be
engage in.
honest,
Mm. Go ahead, Tom.
well, to be honest, bro, you never know people's life, man. You never
This
know.
is this is true.
You
This
never
is
know.
true.
How do you get to that place to where like you wanna, I just I don't know. I don't understand.
Yeah.
Me being a teacher myself now, teaching at the Cultural Arts Center, you don't even think that way, man. You just it for me it's more like it's an adventure when you look at children in a way, you know what I'm saying? Like it's just fun. Like people are just living. The kids the kids don't know the world. They just want to be alive. And it's like, man, and you get like you actually care, man. For me, there's been more revelation now that I'm reflecting on it.
Mm.
Being someone who works there in a system like that, those are your kids, man.
Mm-hmm.
Whether you like it or not, man.
Mm-hmm.
You're a surrogate you're a surrogate parent. Even
Yeah.
the kids that you don't like, you have to make
Leave it.
sure like
Yeah. To leave an impact on them and guide them as
you're
best as you
not
can.
being, yeah, you're not being. So I don't know, man.
Yeah.
I haven't really bought or not bought in or like just kind of like not really as I don't like Rurouni Kenshin as much as I used to because of that.
Yeah.
It's not, you know, it's not my pride and joy. But if I'm gonna give you from a teacher's for a good piece, someone who does give you tips, of, oh this manga does a good job at objectively, this manga does a good job at
Mm-hmm.
doing this. This manga does a good job at doing that.
I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
And
R.
that's
Kelly
it.
got slaps. That it is what it is.
Yeah,
The world's
yeah,
greatest is the world's greatest. What do you want me to say? The Ignition remix
yeah.
exists.
Even
I don't know what to tell you.
I think that Boondocks episode was so deep,
On point. Yeah, on point. Hmm.
because man, there like I'm not gonna go say too much, but like the music sometimes you catch yourself singing it in the shower.
Yeah.
You'll get to the mid verse and you'll stop and you'll be like but and you ask yourself, well, the mute like Bobby Womack. I don't know if you
Mo-
know his story.
no, most of their
Boy,
stories. Most of
Bobby
the
Womack.
stories.
So like I don't know, bro.
Yeah.
It's I don't have the answers, man. I know like with homie, I took cut ties with him. Like this, you can't be redeemed, man.
Yeah.
It's not no Game of Thrones arc where you could get rewritten. You know what I'm saying? Like your redemption is you being written out of
Yeah.
existence,
It's.
Um
I'll go if you're good. Yeah.
nah, it hurts because like I could show you how beat up this literally created my future, man.
Mm.
I got this good because of the storylines and the arcs and whatnot. Look at how beat up this manga is. It's not because I care about like I read this manga. It's like a tool for me to learn. You know,
Mm-hmm.
it birthed me, man. So yeah, you almost now don't want to find out about anything anymore about your favorite
Oh,
artist.
no.
Anything.
The older you
You
get,
just
the more you realize ignorance is bliss is truly the truth. The less you know about
look at our
things,
favorite artist of all time,
sheesh,
and he wilded. Now he banned from Italy you,
sheesh.
for life. So I don't know. Somebody talk to me. Help
Yeah,
me
no,
rationalize
yeah.
or
Like I
yeah.
said, it was closer
Go
to you.
ahead.
I have plenty to say. For me, it does get a little bit tricky because I'm also very self aware of certain things in which we're all hypocrites to a certain degree, right? We all have things that either we struggle with or indulge in or have a hard time with that other people may not hold in the best light, right? So I'd never want to approach these things as the moral police. I know for me personally, I've always taken things that involve children in any form or fashion very, very, very seriously. Fortunately, I've been privileged and blessed enough to not have had any traumatic child experiences. I believe, to the best of my recollection, like my innocence of being a kid was intact for as long as I was a child. I don't have, any traumatic stories that like trigger me when I hear about things involving kids. But it's also part of the reason why, at least for me, I have a hard time separating art from artist in that case in particular because I do believe being a kid is such a crucial and cherished time in someone's life. I'm not saying that as an adult you can't heal from certain things that happen to you, especially at the hands of another adult or being exposed to things that adults expose kids to. But
Yeah.
you know, as we all sort through our 30s, right, and being the millennials and having such a culturally blessed era of childhood of the anime we were introduced to, the games we were introduced to, the TV we were watching, the cartoons we got to see, right? To be able to have seen that through such a pure and innocent lens is something that we all reflect on to this day, right? That's why nostalgia is so powerful. Like there was a time where things were just simpler and more pure. So when I hear situations of, the R. Kellys with the underage girls, or the author of Rurouni Kenshin being caught with child pornography, it upsets me in a different way because it's like you did not have enough respect for these kids. And then, of course, he wasn't caught with kids in the case of the author, but like you didn't have enough respect for this time, this crucial time in someone's life, that you couldn't see how disgusting this is. It's a hard thing of like I can't, you know, I don't even want to give like a comparison of what I could look over, but like it's one of those things where like I have such a hard time disconnecting from it because it's like why would you even engage in this, right? So we joked a lot of times about seven deadly sins, but part of the reason why I never really got into it is because some of the things when it came to Meliodas and his relationship, and then Bond and his relationship, I just wasn't comfortable with. I get it, I understand. In both
You already know how
cases,
I feel about Meliodas.
I know, right? But like in both cases, I get the legalities of it, right? It's like she's a reincarnation of his long lost wife. She's technically hundreds of years old. In Bond's case, his girl, she's technically hundreds of years old, but they're depicted as children, or they're depicted as a 15-year-old girl, 12-year-old girl. It's like, why would you even do this? Why would you even do this? Make them an adult. They're an adult. It's not funny to me. I don't find the humor in these underage. I'm gonna walk the line with this depiction. So, for as much as I've come to appreciate the series of Rurouni Kenshin, late into my teen years and as an adult, it is kind of like the R. Kelly effect all over again. Like I cannot see past what's supporting you when I take
I was
in your art.
I was a kid when I got Rurouni Kenshin. I was
Mm-hmm.
a kid, 14 years old, 13 years old, like no, 13 years old when I got a hold of my Rurouni Kenshin novel.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. Um, and it's so crazy. There's no hints of that through the
At all.
manga. There's
Mm-hmm.
nothing great at all. There's no,
Which
like,
goes to Tim's point, like you
it's
don't really know
just
people. You don't really know people's lives. But
yeah,
sorry, go ahead.
yeah. Um, No, I mean, yeah, it's there was times where when it happened, when he got charged, and I think you broke the news to me.
Hmm.
Yeah, man, it was just like, like this is my trainer,
Hmm.
and he trained Oda.
You trained a lot of people,
He
whether it be
trained a lot
directly
of
or
people, man.
indirectly.
So indirectly, and I fall under that. Um, yeah, man. So back to it being received well. I think people will still check it out, and if he doesn't have any more involvement in it, I think people will give it a chance
Hmm.
because as long as if they cut ties with it. But if he's still involved, I don't think Rurouni Kitchen itself is is like Rurouni Kenshin in itself as a property, as a manga, is not. It doesn't hint anything of it. Like if it was something more like Seven Deadly Sins, I'd be like, yeah, throw the whole thing away
Hmm.
because the intent is bleeding out into the characters.
Yeah.
But but Rurouni Kenshin doesn't hint that at all. It's actually a very, it's actually if you didn't add it, it's a decent romance story, you know,
Hmm.
or a decent redemption story of the samurai who refuses to kill. It's a very very good story, and if he has no more involvement in it, then I think it'll fare. I think if they release a statement, due to da 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 da, we understand we've cut ties. We still would continue the property of Yoni Kenshin because of factors
Mm.
that we see that does not harm or glue itself to the art author. And because of this, we'll continue with the property. We're going to give it to the hands of someone who will do the property justice. I think it'll do fine. Um, that's how I came in going into this,
Hmm.
watching it, because I just wanted to see what they will do, what choices they'll make. It's missing, in my opinion, some of the edge of the original manga. I mean, original anime. There were certain directional choices, stylistic choices that I thought were perfect for that anime. And if that translated, and it had a slower pace.
Hmm.
This one seems to be just nothing. It doesn't have the effect as the other one. I felt like the other effect built up tension better.
But that could just be
Well,
a result of how anime has evolved, right?
Yeah.
The days of 6 episodes of Goku and Vegeta on Namek are over.
No, but Attack on Titan has tension that it builds up within episodes, and they execute it very well at certain times.
Have you rewatched it recently?
Attack on Titan?
Yeah,
You don't think so?
I
I
can
think
maybe
so.
think of 2, 3 episodes where absolutely nothing happens in all the seasons that's ever aired.
Oh
There's
no,
always
well
something
that's
happening.
just there's always something where you talk. Well, like that is story driven, you know what I'm saying? But when
Mm.
it's time for the tension to be ramped up, it's there.
On a thousand.
Erwin talking to Falco, Aaron talking to Falco, yeah, tension. You know, with Rainer there, tension. The episode where Kenshin fights Jin E. In the episode, Jin E puts a spell on on Miss Karu, and she's dying. And he's like, "Yo, Kenshin, you could easily save her. Just turn back into the Batosai." You see, and then that was felt in the original. It wasn't so much felt in this episode. So,
Mm.
um, it's just like you guys watch it yourself. You watch the original, and then you watch the new anime that recently dropped.
Tim.
You won't see the yeah. Um,
He's
you
like,
won't
even
see the
bootleg, I could feel the support, and I can't.
yeah, yeah.